Hello everyone! As you might have noticed, I am in a different setting today. This is actually the old sitting room. My grandfather and my grandmother, well, they put furniture in here to make it look very sophisticated, you could say, with these old leather armchairs and a couch. Usually everything is covered up with plastic, as you can see behind me, but for this video I thought I'd use this room because better video quality and it just looks nice. I like this armchair. This is actually my old studio. When I first started out on YouTube, my recordings took place over there. There, on that table I actually recorded. My laptop stood there and the microphone stand. So, but this is not why I'm making this video. This video is Pony Thoughts number 3. Even though the number isn't really right, it is actually My Little Pony Season 5 Episode 4. Right now I don't know the title. Something with gloom, if I remember right. But once again, we have a Cutie Mark Crusader episode, and I like it. I really must say I like it, especially because the best horse is in it, Princess Luna. Now we have had Scootaloo, where Princess Luna helped Scootaloo face her fears. Then we had Sweetie Belle in Season 4, with houses for whom the Sweetie Belle toils, and where she had sabotaged Rarity's work and Princess Luna helped her fix it. And now we have Apple Bloom with her fear that if she gets a cutie mark, she'd either be not a Crusader anymore and her friends would shun her, or that she would get a cutie mark that is totally off and she would have a job that is not her thing. No. So I can understand that this crisis that every young person goes through. I went through it myself. Before I knew I wanted to become a nurse, I had all kinds of crazy ideas. I worked as a waiter. I actually have a basic training in electronics, so I could be an electrician, but I have a color disorder in my eyes, so I don't see colors right, and many things are color coded in that field, so I couldn't do that. So I understand that totally. Yeah, and then we hear that at the beginning of the episode we see that they got a letter from Babs Seed, and that Babs Seed has finally gotten her cutie mark. Scissors, if I remember right. Cutting hair? Really? I mean, okay, why not? All the fan art has to be edited now. Give her her frickin' cutie mark. What I don't understand is this, I think Apple Bloom says it, that Pony who got their cutie mark can't be a Cutie Mark Crusader anymore. I mean, why? If they already have their cutie mark, or gotten their cutie mark while in the Cutie Mark Crusaders, wouldn't it be a nice touch to have that pony, that filly, stay in the Crusaders and help the others get theirs? I think that would be a very nice touch. It's the same as the Crusaders in Fallout Equestria Project Horizons, where one of those young fillies says when Blackjack shows up with that Crusader patch on her armor, that she can't be a Crusader because she's too old. So why not? Why not let ponies who get their cutie marks while they're in the Cutie Mark Crusaders like become elder members, or members who support members that don't have to come to every meeting anymore but still have something to say? I think that would be a better take on this, because in this little part I see a problem for young kids. It teaches the wrong message. I personally was, when I was younger, into Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and everything, just everything. And I was laughed at for this. But I would still hang out with people who play Counter-Strike or Battlefield or whatever. I even was once a professional Counter-Strike player, even though I was still going to Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments and everything. So these two circles of friends weren't even mutually exclusive. I had a few friends who played Counter-Strike, who also played Yu-Gi-Oh! Or until even just a few years ago, I had a Nintendo DS, which broke sadly. And with one of my friends with whom I played Counter-Strike back in the day, I still would enjoy playing a little round of Pokemon. So why not? It teaches a wrong lesson to children to, yeah, you've got your cutie mark now, so you're not a crusader anymore. I don't think that's a good lesson for children, and they have to come up with a solution for that, in my opinion. Because, like they're doing it now, it's not okay. By the way, if you hear a little background noise, that's my dad. He has his apartment right above this room. So, I'm sorry for that. Thing is, Apple Bloom then has all these crazy ideas that her family will throw her out when she doesn't get an apple as a cutie mark or anything. And I mean, what? Applejack has shown herself to be very passionate, especially about her younger sister. I mean, we have seen that in season 4 in the episode Some Pony to Watch Over Me. She went totally batshit crazy to care for Apple Bloom. So why does Apple Bloom suddenly have this fear that the Apple family will kick her out if she doesn't get an apple for a cutie mark? I mean, I'm not totally sure right now, but if you go back to, yeah, there is an Apple family member who doesn't have an apple cutie mark. That much I know, for sure. Apple family reunion. That violin player, she has a note on her flank. No, not a note. I don't know what it's called. It's in German. It's Notenschlüssel, so a note key, something like that. You get where I'm going here. It's by the way, very interesting thing. Some fans think that because of that thing on her flank, because it's the same thing Octavia has, that this differently colored mare, because they look very much alike, is actually Octavia, and that Octavia is part of the Apple family. Which is a headcanon I'd approve if they didn't have a different coat color. Where was I? Okay, yeah. Why? Why does Apple Bloom suddenly think so lowly of her family? Big Mac has shown himself to really just love his siblings. We see in Cider Squeezy 6000, I think the episode is called, with the Flim Flam brothers, that he's doing everything for the farm, for his family, that he's really supportive of them. And why, Apple Bloom? Why? That is not what we saw in Pinky Apple Pie with that road trip where they sing we're apples forever, apples together, we're apples to the core. I know my singing sucks, but you know where I'm going here. This is out of character for Apple Bloom. I don't like it. That later in that episode, first of all, let's go through her cutie mark dreams. The first one, she becomes a pest pony. I mean, she still has an apple on her flank. If you look, there is in that little gas cloud from the pesticide, there is an apple. Yeah, that's actually the table here where I put my cola. Is a requisite from my father. My father is a magician of sorts. Um, so, yeah, what can I say? The job isn't so bad. Really, it isn't. As a past pony, of course, she has a lot to do, or would have had a lot to do if this was real, but it is a dream. She could still help with Sweet Apple Acres because getting rid of vermin like rats or vampire fruit bats or something, that would be a job for a past pony. So she would be perfect on Sweet Apple Acres. But no. She gets her cutie mark removed by running into the Everfree Forest and listening to that creepy voice. The next cutie mark she gets... What was that again? Ah yeah, potions. I mean, really? We've seen in Twilight Time that she barely managed to make that flower grow. So, I mean, in the end, she succeeded. Like Sweetie Belle with her magic and Scootaloo was fixing that scooter. But really? No. Luckily, we don't get a, hey, what do I have to do with that cutie mark scene? Because I really wouldn't have enjoyed seeing a scene where Apple Bloom is trying to, you know, use her newfound potion making talent to increase Sweet Apple Acres crops, I guess? That could have gone seriously wrong. I mean, do you remember that apple from the Bats episode? I'm pretty sure Apple Bloom's potions had something to do with that. I mean, an apple bigger than my body? You can make a lot of applesauce from that. Or apple pie, or apple cider. Apple cider. Okay, let's move on before I actually get a drink. So, she then goes to the Cutie Mark Crusader Clubhouse to show off her cutie mark, and Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo just throw her out? No. They wouldn't do that. Never. They're so close. So I never had something like this when like someone had a different interest all of a sudden that he wasn't in the group of friends anymore. I mean, okay, once, but that was something that I didn't accept because that former friend of mine was 26 and had intercourse with a 14-year-old, and I just said, fuck you, no, that's not acceptable. But in my group of friends, there are guys who enjoy SpongeBob. I don't like SpongeBob. I don't. It's too silly for me. I mean, some people enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure that, like the MLB analysis community, there are also people who analyze SpongeBob. I wouldn't want to analyze this because I don't like it. It's just as easy as that. I don't think it's stupid or anything. It's silly. It's not my kind of cartoon. Or I have other people who like Pokemon. I even have one friend who likes Omajo Doremi. I mean, why not? If he likes that show and genuinely enjoys the story, then why not? I mean, I watch ponies and I'm almost 30. So, no, Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle wouldn't do that. If Apple Bloom got her cutie marks, they'd still be friends. But as I mentioned earlier in this video, I don't think... I mean, she might actually still be a Crusader then, but I think they should find a new solution for this, because just throwing someone out of the Crusaders just because they got their cutie mark, as I said earlier, doesn't seem to, for me, it doesn't send the right message to children. And unless they want some massive backlash from parents, I'd say they better think something up, like what I said earlier, make them senior members maybe, you know. But only if you got your cutie mark while you are in the cutie mark Crusaders. You can't join up when you already have your cutie mark. That would be something. Yeah. And then she has this thing with the dolphin cutie mark where family I think ostracizing is the right word. Not really sure, I'd have to look it up. As you know, my native language is not English. That is so out of tune there. I mean, Granny Smith saying stuff like yup or nope, and Big Mac speaking, and or Apple Jackson suddenly just yup or nope, 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 no. That is so wrong. That is wrong on so many levels, guys. I mean, I understand that fear of what will happen when I grow up. I understand it. But, yeah. Also, there's another message in this that I don't really approve of. This doesn't matter what your cutie mark is. I think that sends the wrong message. It does matter if a child does put effort into their education to become what they want to become. I once knew a guy, Hans. By the way, Hans, if you see this, I hope you did not become a lawyer like you said, because you would be an abysmal lawyer. Hans had this idea. He was 16 years old at the time. I was 15, so this was 14 years ago, almost 16 years. Well, damn it, I'm old. It was almost 15 years ago when I met this guy on a vacation. And he wanted to become a lawyer, not because he was interested in laws and in court or crime or solving or defending people, or no, he wanted to become a lawyer because it brings money. I often said that you should do something that you enjoy. Myself, I tried several things out, but I could have never imagined becoming a nurse, never. Had I not been forced in the substitute military service, I would most likely would still not know what I like. Medicine is my thing, and narrations by now. By the way, that was I will do another video about this, but this was a freaking story back then. I was so nervous when I read my first story, but I digress. So what I'm saying here is, it sends the wrong message here. You have to work for what you want to become. It does matter. It does matter, not in the kind like I gave the example with Hans. That was actually a real guy. I never actually talked to him after that vacation, but I really hope he did not become a lawyer. He was interested in animals, by the way. So I gave him the advice to become a veterinarian or something, because he was interested in animals. Or a zookeeper or something with animals. He had fun with that. And no, he still wanted to become a lawyer. And I think you should do something that's fun. That's fun for you. Like for me, medicine. Everything medicine was fun like hell. You can't imagine that. You go in there, you read a patient's report, and you understand everything that's in there, even though a normal person wouldn't. And then you have this epiphany in your mind that you say, okay, that person has a has problems with their heart. I should avoid this, I should avoid this, I should do this with them. No super salty food because of their blood pressure. They need everywhere a place where they can sit down if their heart is really weak, something like that. And I had fun thinking those things through. It was my thing. But saying to Apple Bloom that her cutie mark doesn't matter. Okay, her cutie mark might not matter. I'll give you that, guys. Her cutie mark might not matter. But what she makes of it, that matters. Because as we see with Rarity, her special talent is finding gems. And she is a fashion designer. She uses her special talent to find gems to design her fashion. Something she is passionate about. That is what I'm saying. It does matter. How can she use her special talent to improve? To do something she likes? It's a really substantial thing of growing up, and I think they could have handled it much better. I mean, this episode is good in this strange way, but they could have done it better. I could rewrite it, maybe I will. EQD guys, if you make another challenge for this, I so totally will do this. Yeah. And then we find out, of course, that this creepy voice, this pony running around there, was actually Apple Bloom's shadow. What a surprise. Seriously, I called it from the moment we saw this pony shadow thing, when I think it was when she got her second cutie mark removed. Oh. From that moment forth, I knew that is Apple Bloom. Apple Bloom's driving herself crazy. So it was predictable a little. But in this part, when it was revealed by Princess Luna, who I'm pretty sure would have caused some serious flooding if she moved the moon like this in the real world, revealed that it was actually Apple Bloom herself causing her all that misery and those nightmares. I can understand that. I have certainly driven myself crazy over shit. Like, the first time I uploaded the video to YouTube, it wasn't actually on this channel. I had another channel. Completely different Google account, or it wasn't even Google back then, it was still, Google hadn't bought YouTube yet, and nowadays I can't get into that account because I kinda lost my password. But even back then I did an audiobook of a story I had written myself, on German, but of a story I'd written myself. It was called Gardena, and I was so freaking nervous to put it up. And then later when I started this channel, I couldn't shake this nervousness. I was like, what if people don't like my work, and I'm not that good in English. I know I have a heavy accent. I've tried to work on it, but people sometimes still call me out on it, and I was really uncomfortable when that first video went up. Especially, those aren't online anymore, by the way, these Curse of the Were Pony 2 videos. I replaced them with re-recorded versions. But there was one comment below one of those that almost made me quit, and that was, I'm giving this guy an A for effort, but I can't understand him due to his mumbling. And that was, for me, who was already that nervous about the stuff I did, was heartbreaking. So I almost quit because of that. But I went on because my narrations were fun. Recently they aren't that much because the stories are so freaking long and they burn me out really fast. But that is a topic for another video. So I can understand this, that Sweetie Belle is, not Sweetie Belle, that Apple Bloom is driving herself crazy over a cutie mark and what will happen if she gets one. I was the same When I had my first day at work as a nurse, I was like, oh my god, you've never done something like this, wiping asses all day, and probably you've got to wipe puke and shit and everything. I had the worst night that I didn't sleep and can't imagine that. And I mean, man, you might have gone through something like that. It's very close to anxiety before exams, but I couldn't sleep. I had all those horror visions in my head, similar to Apple Bloom here. So what can I say? I can relate to that. And it was a very nice touch that in this part they tell the people or the children, don't get too... Yeah. Do you hear that motorcycle out there? I heard it. You see that it's getting... The weather is getting better and the people sometimes really drive by my house on their motocross bikes in the middle of the night. It's annoying, especially when you're working with microphones. So what can I say? It's good that they tell the children there that they shouldn't work themselves up over nothing. Nobody told me something like that. Nobody. But in the end I learned it, and really if you go about it a little more relaxed, you can get more done and you will feel better about it. Because you didn't stress yourself. By the way, going relaxed about something, I don't mean that you have to go slowly. Just don't panic. Do your stuff, but don't panic. It was a big thing with my co-workers back in the day when I was working in a retirement home. And I said to my colleagues, because they were running, panic, stress. I said, hey, relax, keep calm. And they shouted at me and said, I can't, I have to get my work done. And I was like, look, I'm getting the same work done as you. But you look totally ragged when you're done. I'm still totally relaxed. I don't mean to work slow, I just mean don't let it get to you. Of course we have in this episode Best Horse, Princess Luna. By the way, I have a Twitter account and I twittered my opinion about this episode there already with the hashtag #TheNewLunaRepublic. Yeah, and we have a little hint here, by the way, about Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo. I predict that, like most analysts, I'm no analyst, I'm a narrator. I would certainly be willing to collab with analysts because I just find it funny to do collabs. But that's another story. I love collabs, really, I do. By the way, I have something coming up that you might be interested in, and that is, if everything works out, for chapter 25 of Project Horizons, we will have a guest voice. Yeah, so I'm no analyst, but Princess Luna shows Apple Bloom these two lines of doors. When Apple Bloom says that she's the only one being afraid of her cutie mark or what will happen to her when she gets it, or what it will be. So basically we have, I'm guessing that we have a door there for every blank flank in Equestria. And that Princess Luna deals with that every night or every once in a while. It also, however, gives us a very good idea of how Princess Luna does her work. I think that she has several of those hallways full of doors organized in her dream realm for different topics. For nightmares about, I don't know, for nightmares about parasprites, for nightmares about giant muffins that try to eat you, for nightmares about you. Okay, I don't know what went on there. But then Princess Luna does what Princess Luna does. She helps the fillies. She tells them what's going on. And they decide not to care about what happens when they get their cutie marks. Not to go crazy about it. But still be the cutie mark crusaders. And to get a care package to Bab's seat. By the way, I also liked this little song Applejack sang for her sister there. So, sorry. All in all, I would give this episode a 6 out of 10. I am Visual Pony. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope the sound quality was decent enough and there weren't so many stomping noises from above. Yeah. Sincerely yours, Visual Pony. Don't forget that you can always support me via my Patreon account. The link is in the description.